Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Hamilton Sevens quarterfinals that have all so far been upsets. 3 underdogs, 3 victories. Ireland come in as underdogs for this game. So can they knock New Zealand out of their own competition? We'll have to wait and see. New Zealand starting lineup. It will be Regan Ware, Sione Molia, Akulia Rokalisoa, Dylan Collier, Sam Dixon, Joe Webber, and Leroy Carter. Then Ireland, it is McNulty, O'Sullivan, Noel Comerford, also Jordan Conroy, Terry Kennedy, Mark Roach, and Brian Mullen. But we are now underway. New Zealand kick off long. Nicely taken by Jordan Conroy back inside of his own 22. But like I've mentioned, it's an interesting one because all underdogs have been winning. New Zealand on home soil. They don't want to lose this early on in the comp. And if they do, I believe they have to play either South Africa, Fiji, or Australia. That's a big run. O'Sullivan now, though. He's got pure pace down the wing. I think he's going to get the first try of the match for the Irish, and he does. What a start. 30 seconds in, and the Irish strike on New Zealand soil. I think this is just a really interesting competition for the quarterfinals. Like all the underdogs. You look at some of the odds, like Ireland were coming in as $5 underdogs for this game. Yes, they have never beaten New Zealand, but boy, they have had a lot of good chances in the past, but great run down the wing. Just not able to stop him. Aaron O'Sullivan gets the try. And try. Would love to see him help coach a Pacific Island team or Razor. Yeah, I'm not too sure what Razor's plans are yet overall, but have to wait and see. He might see what a couple of the other guys have been doing and maybe consider coaching one of the Pacific Island nations, like we've seen with Samoa getting coached recently. But that will be a great start to the match for the Irish. They are 5-0 up now over the Kiwis. Come on, the Irish, says Joseph there as well. Sam Dixon calls for it, takes it nicely, drop the ball, and now Ireland have got themselves another crack. 22 metres out. Mark Roach goes off to Terry Kennedy. Got pace for days, this man, and also has scored a huge amount of tries. Did you see his Barbarians documentary? Not yet, no, unfortunately, but it is on my watch list. New Zealand, they do get the penalty on the 22. And now I'll need to kick it into touch. And also, we have their Razors coming to Leinster. No, says Joseph. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. Although Leinster's one of those sides that I think no matter who's their coach, they're still going to be right up there, aren't they? The amount of talent that they've got. Hopefully Razor after Foster finishes the next World Cup, says John. Although, John, what happens if Ian Foster helps the All Blacks win the World Cup? Then what do? Do you sack Foster with a World Cup title under his belt? Or do you switch to Razor anyway? Howdy, says Xavier Brown. Welcome in, mate. You are doing well. So far, we've seen 3 upsets in the quarterfinals. New Zealand getting wrestled close to the touchline. It's going to be the penalty advantage. And through the side, Leroy Carter now having the quick tap for New Zealand. Going off to the left-hand side. Akulia Rokalisoa sees that he's got Collier on his outside and now passes quickly to Dixon. Trying to drive straight over the top of Mark Roach. Halfway line for the Kiwis. They're down by 5 at the moment, so they need to find the try relatively soon. Regan Ware, one of the more experienced heads in this New Zealand format. Rokalisoa. Looking for a gap. Oh, he goes straight through. You can't afford to miss a tackle on Rokalisoa, but he's tackled high by Mark Roach. Still finds the offload to Dylan Collier. Ball off to Dixon, and he manages to score the try. And now we're back to 5-5 in this contest. No Leinster coach are going to Racing. Jota Gibbs maybe to Leinster, says Gareth. And also Foster is good. He's get the worst New Zealand team ever in the top 3 rankings, says Xavier Brown. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if New Zealand did win a World Cup, whether people are like, maybe Foster's not that bad, or whether they're like, right, he got lucky, get him out. And it will be a challenge, All Blacks to beat Ireland, says Coding. And New Zealand would have had to F up a lot more to lose more places, says Gareth. And no way we taking Gibbs bad business when leaving Ulster, says Joseph. But that kick is going to be unsuccessful for the Kiwis also. So it means that we are now sitting at 5 points to 5 after the first 4 minutes of this contest. Debut in 2013 in Dubai. Sam Dixon almost bringing up 100 tries to his name. Nicely taken there believe that is Niall Comerford. Tackled just outside of the 22. Sam Dixon lets him go. Back across O'Sullivan. Terry Kennedy. One more to Jordan Conroy. And on paper, this Irish side is absolutely phenomenal. Bunch of talented players all scattered throughout. That's going to be a rough pass from Terry Kennedy. Bounced a little bit too high over there to his teammate, Harry McNulty now. One more on the outside. Comerford sees that he's got the man with him. Going to be Lennox. In fact, sorry, it was actually Brian Mullen. Had that one now. Across to Aaron O'Sullivan. The lone try scorer for Ireland at this point, but probably not the last. The way they've been going up to halfway. 2 minutes left on the clock. Any more matches after this? There are the semi-finals and also the other playoff games. We will be covering a few of those on the channel. I just have to get them scheduled, but we weren't sure of who was going to be in them until these games had taken place. Another penalty goes the way of New Zealand. Now back across again, Mollier has 2 men on his outside, decides instead get Mark Roach into contact, close to a turnover there in the breakdown. Brilliant work from the Irish. It's a knock on and it becomes the penalty. Double blow of the whistle. Oh, because there's a player down. I thought for a second that they were going to give a yellow card to Leroy Carter there and let Foster finish off 2023 World Cup, and judging from there, says Paul. Rounds have been in South Africa, Ireland and New Zealand. But nothing humiliating. So World Cup is very open. Go Ireland, good luck, guys. Says Ezra as well. So Ireland gave away 15 penalties yesterday compared to New Zealand's 3. That's throughout the whole day. That's pretty big. But while we've got a bit of an injury stoppage, we might as well have a look at some of the other matches that we have got coming up. So it will be Samoa versus Great Britain. That is at 1:42 p.m. New Zealand time. So that's in about an hour and a half. South Africa will be facing off against the loser of this game. The winner of this game will advance to face France. And it's already confirmed that it will be Fiji versus Australia for 5th place. And Argentina, USA are in the other semi-final. Now, 50 seconds left on the clock. Thrown in nicely by Ireland. Been able to retain their own line out. Now look to attack one more time before the end of the half. Terry Kennedy lined up. He tried to kick it, but instead the pressure from New Zealand was just a little bit too much. Forced him backwards. Go New Zealand, yes. Says Reed kicked him behind now. Going to be floating high in the air, and it's going to bounce up awkwardly. Regan Ware's done well, though, to be able to regather. New Zealand back in possession with 30 seconds left. Little bit of a juggle. Collier gets it back, though. Gives it to Dixon to work him well out on the wing. Now, well stolen, I thought, but no clear release they've called. And how's the crowd? Still very, very small at this point. Probably about 30% in attendance at the moment. So not ideal, but they are charging $100 for the day to get in a Wild Island try. Says was there from Ezra. Now, nice pass on the outside. One moment. We will go like this. Oh, Ireland win the penalty in the breakdown. So Jack Kelly gives it off to Terry Kennedy. McNulty also been quite quiet throughout this burst. Another penalty against the Kiwis. And they've just said on the stat again, we know this one from past leagues. Ireland have never beaten New Zealand. $100, that's way too much. It is. Like, when you consider, if you miss the morning session, let's just say, for instance, you've got something on in the morning. You get to about maybe 2 p.m. and you're like, hey, I'd like to go to the Sevens. Like, if you're going to have to pay $100 to go in for like maybe 4 or 5 hours, like, no one's going to do that. And did you say $100 a day for this tournament? It is. So New Zealand, it's their last competition. I think they've really tried to milk it for all it's worth, really. And the people have just gone, no, we're not paying that much. Stolen by New Zealand. Almost, yes, it does just stay on the field of play until it goes out that time. And now it's going to be halftime between these two sides, 5-5, and that's a rip-off. It is. I'm interested to know what the prices are for Sydney. Xavier, you might be able to help me find that out, seeing as you are in Australia. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, while it's at halftime, if you do want to help us out, we have got a second channel. Be sure to check that out. Here is the link. Be sure to subscribe over there. George set me a challenge. He said if you can make us go up 5 subscribers by the end of the day, He'll buy me a large chips from McDonald's. So that sounds like a brilliant deal. Should be $50 for the full tournament at most, says Xavier. Yeah. Like, yeah, 100 for a day is way too much. Sydney Sevens tickets. While we're at halftime, we might as well have a quick geese. Tickets.com.au or the HSBC Sydney Sevens. Buy tickets. 5 days till the kickoff. I'm curious about Australia's prices. The day pass will go for. Family from only $40. So if you're going for day pass on, we'll go Sunday, the day where the finals are. You can, where are we? Buy on the marketplace. How do I do this? I have never bought tickets online. And family tickets from 50 is good, or 40 is good as. Yeah, so general admission to get into the Sydney Sevens is $25. The rugby terrace, if you want to be in the special area, you can get them for $150. Premium reserved, so some nice areas, is $60. Oh no, actually, sorry, that's a lie. It's $90 for an adult in the premium area of Sydney. What else can we find out? And also the green underdogs to lose. General admission. General admission for a day in Sydney is $50, which is still probably relatively high up there. That Timaru Boys High School first 11. Good cricketers, good sledges too. Says David in there. They were. They had me. The problem was I was laughing too much while trying to bat. I feel like that made me just not concentrate very much at all. So I guess they did their job. And were you not scared to travel late night in Haunted Park? Nah, she was all right. That Guess Who game, though, controversial. And also about convert currency, yeah, about the same. New Zealand and Australia are sitting very even at the moment for their dollars. Now, McGarvey Black, he's out there on the field for New Zealand, so they've decided they need to make a couple changes. Joe Webber also going to be on the field. He was actually on there the whole first half, and we hardly saw him. It's interesting. And also, if it was 15s, they would sell it easily, but not 7s, not for $100. Says Kipper Gronk, general admission is the best spot to be, close to the ground and the players. Says Paul, that's going to be a knock-on from New Zealand. It looks like there's an injury maybe for Leroy Carter, or he might have just had his boot come off. Yeah, limping a little bit there. And let's go New Zealand. You're the only Southern of the on the top 4 and winner last tournament, boys. There's King T. Yeah, it's interesting because 3 underdogs all winning, and now Ireland come in as underdogs. Sitting 5-5 at the moment. They haven't been playing badly at all, so New Zealand definitely need to be on the A game for the remaining half. Of course, I should mention that was the final day that was $50. So maybe the earlier days was like 40. But yeah, with the 3-day comp, it means that you get less games per day, I believe. I don't think it quite runs as long. And also, how is it $50 to get into the Sevens in Sydney? Super Round is $50 for all 3 days. Yeah, see, Melbourne's strategic there, making it cheap enough that people are like, might as well go. See how it goes. Whereas if it's $50 just for 1 day, people are like, meh, TV's good. Because that's the other thing. Normally, when you go to a game, you're more paying for the atmosphere rather than being able to actually see the game. Depending on where you're sitting, sometimes the players look like ants and they're just running around. So you don't actually get the full depth of what's happening. So some people just prefer watching it on TV. Definitely if it's going to cost them a lot of money. Terry Kennedy, might have been a little mistake there from the Irish. New Zealand almost able to turn it over. New Zealand have to release there. They were extremely close to getting that ball back, but now nice step from the Irish. Harry McNulty be heavily involved in the second half, I would think. A kick downfield by the replacement, McNamara. McGarvey Black, he's back there for New Zealand, able to get it. 4.5 minutes left. This one could end up going to extra time, perhaps, depending on how it goes. Melbourne is bigger sporting Philipsure than Sydney. And also, I prefer watching rugby from behind the post than on the side of the pitch, says Xavier. Now, good work over the ball for the Irish. They've got the clean turnover, and They take the quick tap. Terry Kennedy up the middle. I don't think Collier was back 10 metres, so it's going to be another advantage and another penalty. Double blow of the whistle. Yellow card for New Zealand. And the Irish still well and truly working hard. Well, does anyone know who's showing this game in Ireland? I believe if you go on World Rugby Sevens website, you might be able to watch it there in Ireland. If not, they will have that list of what the provider is for the country that you're in. And that is a huge call by the ref. And go the Irish, says R45. I don't know. Hay fever's still sucking today, unfortunately. And B in sports, says Gareth. Okay, commentator saying that Dylan Collier was back 10 metres. It was certainly close. I had him down as about 8 metres. And sound thanks, says Joseph. And the Irish did the same thing 2 minutes earlier, says Johnson. Now it's going to be a scrum feed. Ireland with the man advantage. Massive chance here to beat New Zealand for the first time ever on the World Sevens Series. And it would be 4 underdogs all winning their matches. Be absolutely massive for them. Now Terry Kennedy. Across to Jordan Conroy. Almost able to carve his way through. Now, we've seen Ireland be close to beating New Zealand in the past. That is for sure. But the thing is, it's normally the last moment of the game, and New Zealand get themselves back in. Premier seats $100, says Paul for the Sydney Sevens. That's going to be the penalty to New Zealand this time. Sam Dixon, he's fired up at the moment. He's not happy with how this match is going for the Kiwis. Right. 3 minutes remain. So we get closer and closer to the end. But Irish got away with it. Ref inconsistent, says John. New Zealand looking to kick this one for touch. Another sub being made. This time it's going to be Amanaki Nicole. How good was even Etzebeth's try? What quick, smart thinking, says Xavier. I'll be honest, Xavier. I did end up actually sleeping through that game. I was going to do the live stream originally, but something came up. So I did end up sleeping from about, or I probably went to sleep at about 1 and got up relatively early this morning. So I haven't seen that match yet. So don't say who wins it, because I'm probably going to end up watching that game pretty much straight after this. And also a halfback drop ball, hoping for a penalty, says Gareth. And also we have good to have scores of time. What will happen? They'll go to extra time. And who wins next game, Canada or Uruguay? I think Uruguay. Very good chance at the moment. Also, Gareth has just spoiled the result. Cheers, Gareth. I guess I don't need to really watch it now, do I? I was hoping to watch that one without knowing who won. Always can rely on someone. And that one's going to be kicked into touch by New Zealand. 40 metres out now from the line. We'll have another line out. Now, Rohi McGarvey Black and our lad, says Joseph. 40 seconds left of Dylan Collier's card as well. New Zealand have lost just 2 out of the 20 Cup quarterfinals all time at home. And Ireland FU. And are you doing any BBL? Not tonight. We will be instead doing the Sevens. And then that will be it for the day. Now Rohi McGarvey Black now breaking away to the left-hand side. Amanaki Nicole with this one in hand. 35 metres out. It's going to be an advantage. And now going off the feet. Ireland get themselves penalised once again. This is too many penalties in a row. Repeated infringements. Could end up with them with the yellow card, maybe. Right. New Zealand once again going to be kicking this one for touch. And then Dylan Collier will be able to make his way back out onto the field. Last 10 penalties, we've seen 7 against the Irish. Which is quite a few indeed coming Ireland, says Paul there. 1 minute 50. I'm looking at that clock. It's ticking down extremely quickly. The moment New Zealand win. Sorry, mate. I don't have any BBL in weeks. And also, I rewatch all Champions games based off result, except last night games. I let it show Ulster was 0-0 for 40 minutes in a horrible weather. And I was like, Koi Big, says Joseph. And all underdogs this weekend, says Paul. But now Sam Dixon gives it off to Narohi McGarvey Black. Is this going to be like many times in the past, which will be New Zealand scoring a last-minute try up against the Irish and taking the hopes and dreams away from the men in green? 10 metres between New Zealand and the try line. They do fire it straight back to the to the 22-metre line. Narohi McGarvey Black, the draw and pass He doesn't need him. Brady Rush scores with a minute remaining as I pick based off scoreline, says Gareth. See, my strategy is normally to not find out results and then watch the game without knowing who wins if I miss it the first time. But I've learned through YouTube, I don't think I've had a single game that I've tried to do that not spoiled before I get to do that, unfortunately. So it's just my own fault for not watching it live. How many minutes left? Still just 1 minute left. You are slow, says Essie Kaya. I am 30 seconds behind. Yes, on Sky Sport now. Well spotted. Brady Rush, though, scores that try. And also Nintendo Mario Kart. We don't actually have that game. We have a different Mario game. Have the Irish ladies played yet? They have. So they are going to be playing up against New Zealand in their semi-final. They were victorious in their quarterfinal fixing. Congratulations, New Zealand, says Paul. And also, next live stream Springboks versus Australia semi-final, and maybe Fiji versus Ireland or New Zealand, says Brandon. We haven't quite looked at the schedule yet, but we will get them all scheduled relatively soon. That's kicked into touch. McCarvey Black saying that time is up, but I believe they're saying they've still got time for one last line out. If they do get this wrong, it is going to be New Zealand going through to the semi-final to take on Argentina and Ireland. They will be heading into their game up against South Africa, I believe it would be. Or, in fact, no, that's incorrect. That's going to be slapped away by New Zealand. They just need to kick this one into touch. Joe Webber does so. And New Zealand advance again past the Irish. It happens every time. It goes down to the last minute. New Zealand score. And then the scoreboard's a bit behind, isn't it? There we go. Has just updated. 10 points to 5. New Zealand victors over the Irish. The first favourites to be able to get themselves the win. Thanks for the great commentary, Mish, says Joseph. No worries at all. So the next live stream that we have got, I believe, will be coming up in about an hour or so. I think it's Samoa versus Great Britain, next game that we have got coming up on the channel. And then from there, we'll also have all of our other ones scheduled throughout the next little while. Who is New Zealand facing in the semis, bro? So now a few more of the matches have been confirmed. The winner, they are now going to be taking on France. And then South Africa, they will be taking on Ireland. That is at 2:04 p.m. New Zealand time. So that's when that one's taking place. Fiji, Australia already confirmed, and Argentina, USA, the other semi-final. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you are new, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel. We have got, that is the link for that one. We've got random videos over there, a little bit of gaming, bit of real life stuff, a little bit less PG. So be sure to check that out as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.